Welcome to T Boys TV. We are back again with another Hat Show, obviously episode 301. And in this one, we're just going to get straight into the player ratings in terms of the last game. Obviously, watched it together. We had our thoughts. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, I've repeated myself quite a lot throughout the week as well. Obviously, doing the videos and stuff. And then we're going to talk about outgoings, potential incoming, which is looking likely. And then obviously, we'll get into the game tomorrow, which, I mean, like we said on Tuesday, especially myself, I do think in terms of the playoffs, unless a team in there drastically falls off, I do think our chances are unlikely. And I think Wilshere knew how massive that game was, obviously, by his reaction after the game. But yeah, I mean, we have to win tomorrow. We have to win tomorrow. I mean, they've got so many injuries, obviously, Lee said yesterday. And I think they're only going to have like 10, in terms of like senior main players that have been in and around the team. So, yeah, it's probably going to have quite a few youngsters on the bench as well. And Honeyman, who I rate quite highly for them, is injured. He got injured the other day. Similar player to me to Saville when he's actually being played in his right position and doing what he should be doing. But yeah, before we get into all that, Dad, how have you been the last few days?
Yeah, all good, mate. All good.
Good. Good to see people in the chat and everything. Paul says, evening, lads. Evening to you as well, mate. Yeah, obviously we'll talk on Yates in a bit. But yeah, like I say, we're just gonna get straight into the ratings. So Keeley in goal. There has been a few people, talking about him on the goal. I'm not actually gonna blame him. At the end of the day, Anderson's hospital pass was the reason we lost, really. I actually think we'd have probably drawn that game, to be honest. I don't really feel, if you compare that to the Plymouth game for me, I felt Plymouth had a lot more, chances in terms of like should have really scored more. Whereas I honestly think we'd have drawn the other night. And ideally we needed to win, but a draw then going into this game, which you look at it right now as a 3 points, let's be honest, it'd have been a bit more positive. But yeah, I don't blame him for the goal. I can't really think of much else, to be honest, from him. And that's because Huddersfield didn't really do much with obviously going down to 10 men. So, yeah, for me, I will just give him a 6.5.
Yeah, same. He was in his box. It weren't like he was outside his box. He nearly saved. He got touched to it. And, at the end of the day, also, I rate Ledson. He's a good player. He's the sort of player that I wanted us to sign. I followed him a little bit, and I think he's a good player, and that was a great shot at the end of the day. If one of our players had done that, would have been Clark, sort of that type of player. It's this. It's hard to blame Anderson at times. Do you know what I mean? But for me, he didn't play like that when we first signed him.
No, most of the season,
I mean?
at the start of the season, he was one of our better players.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is, he wasn't playing like short balls at the back and things like that. Do you know what I mean? He was doing his job, heading it away, which is brilliant at, and then like clearing it a lot quicker and things like that, trying to play the forward ball quicker. And he's done that in a few games, but in these games, he's not risking that. And so that some of it's down to the management and the way they're trying to get us to play, because we've always seen Walsh in that sort of role loads of times, and we've said that he's going to get caught out, and he was part of it as well. Do you know what I mean? Because the ball went to him, it was just too fast, and then you can't really account for the shot. So, and Keeley wasn't well. A lot of keepers come right out nowadays anyway, and he was still in his box. Like I say, he nearly saved it. But yeah, I'll give him 6.5.
Yeah, I mean, me personally, and I've said it, and I will say it again in my lineup, I would, I would actually drop Anderson. To be honest, I've got to be honest. No worries, Dad. No worries to sort that out. But yeah, as I was saying, I would. I've got to be honest, and I mean, yeah, obviously there's a way they're being told to play, which is not benefiting their game. Like Anderson, I look at him as like a old school type defender in terms of like he'll just head the ball away, and he does, he does bring a good aerial presence. I mean, I was talking with a Luton fan yesterday, and he said, because obviously there's the rumours of Makosa going to Oxford, and obviously we know Makosa is going to go out on loan or whatever. But we were having a conversation. He was like, "Who would you rather have?" And I did say, Makoto just in terms of defensively, but then he said Anderson brings that aerial presence in terms of scoring from corners, which he definitely does. I mean, he done that this season against Peterborough. He did do it against Lincoln. Obviously, it didn't count stupidly, but in terms of like someone you can also develop, and things like that, I look at it and I feel, he can be beneficial. And I've got to be honest. I mean, yes, you guys will know I've been very critical of Naismith this season. But I've got to be honest, I would probably start him. I would probably start him and Mengi in terms of that partnership tomorrow. Just give Anderson a go on the bench, and hopefully for him, if he comes on, it's that type of game where, like he had against Huddersfield, not this game, obviously, the reverse game where he dealt with Joe Taylor really well. Just man mark someone and try and see out the game. Hopefully, if we're in that type of position. So, yeah, that's what I say on that. So yeah, obviously there's our ratings there. I'll go through some more comments because there's a lot of comments flying in. Sheffield Wednesday couldn't get worse. The fans must be more miserable than us. Sometimes I need to think that we're not as bad as some other teams, Yeah, I mean I hear it. Obviously they lost Barry Bannon as well. Got Yates in, which I mean is not really great. But yeah, Bannon. I mean, I did that was quite I guess emotional in a way for a lot of the Sheffield Wednesday fans. Obviously, when he was crying when he was going and stuff, and he's always a player we've rated. That obviously when we played him and we went to the game last season, he scored that good goal. Yeah, no, he had a lot of space, but still, he scored a good goal. And I've always known about him before that anyway. And he is a top professional. And to be fair, even though they are in these problems, there was rumours like he was still training until like the end, like even after training sessions and stuff. Like he's got that determination, and Millwall is that type of team that suits him for me because of the way they are in terms of like physicality. Do you know what I mean? Always, getting stuck. They're similar to us in ways. Obviously, they're much better right now, but in terms of like the way their club wants to be, in terms of the way they want the players, or more old school for us, to be honest, because we're not like that anymore. But in terms of like how we were, and that's why when we always played them, they were quite close games. Especially like, for example, I went to one 2-2 draw. Obviously, we did that watch along that time, Dad, where we was both in the playoff conversation, the 0-0. I mean, they're usually tight. So, yeah, I think it'll do well for them. Keeley 7, says Paul. Ryan's gone with an 8. Yeah, I mean, yeah, we'll obviously get into that. But yeah, moving on we'll go over to Longwick. I mean, I've got to be honest, the ground passes weren't great in this game. He's very hit and miss with them for me. Some games he'll be really good at them. Like, obviously, that pass he did into Wells in the game before, was really good. Reading, even though we lost that game, I thought his ground passing was good. Obviously, scored that very good goal. Yeah, I mean, for him, I'm just going to go 6.5. Again, what I've said, lows, not his natural position, but we're not going to be getting a right back, guys.
Yeah, I think 6.5. Yeah, I like Longwick. Do you know what I mean? And I think he's better in central defence. But ultimately, he's putting performances. He got the cut and all that, and then come back from that. Cleared it off the line, and some of his passing, I think, is good. I think it'd probably be better if it is coming from a more central position. But I like him. I want to keep him. So I'll just give him 6.5.
Yeah, I definitely like him. I just think, we should naturally be playing him where he is, but yeah, unfortunately we're not. But yeah, I mean, he had that game, that points approved, didn't he, against Huddersfield last time out, and obviously come in and done really well in that centre back role, and that was, for me, from memory, that's probably his best game in centre back this season. But yeah, it's just, yeah, he's going to continue to be there by the looks of it. Longwick, 6.5. Harry says, evening, lads. Hope you're both well. Yep, we're good, mate. Hope you're well. It would be typical for him, though, to score tomorrow. It just would be typical. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know with that. Possibly. Other ratings. Longwick 7. Good to see you in here, mate. 6.5. Yeah, fair enough. Same as me. Moving on to Anderson, I've got to be honest, like I've said, I do think he is that more so old school type of defender, and the way we're trying to play is it's not benefiting players like him. That's why I would say I would take him out. Like I say, at Plymouth away, I don't feel he's great either, to be honest. So based on that, I mean, I honestly think we draw that game. We draw that game if he doesn't do that that pass. So yeah, for me, I'm going to be honest. There was actually all right moments, but that the key takeaway is what has cost us the game. So for me, I'm going to have to give him a 5.5.
Yeah, I agree. We've already discussed it, so
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, exactly. Anderson 5 says Paul. Good to see you in here, Phil, mate. Hope you're well. 5.5 says Zero Nightlight. 5. Yeah, I mean, we're all quite similar there. Moving on to Mengi. It was good to see him back. And again, like I said, I would start him tomorrow. It wasn't like one of his better games for us, like in terms of like, I don't know, you look at Stockport away, things like that. But I thought there was decent moments from him, especially when they were attacking like towards our obviously defensive left hand side. I thought he'd done all right clearing it at times. And yeah, it's good to see him back in, to be honest, because like I say, in terms of centre back, I do think he is the best one at the club. And he's looked obviously better under Wilshere predominantly. So yeah, for me, I'll give Mengi a 7.
I'll give him 6.5. Thought it was, he didn't do a lot wrong at all. First came back for from injury. And listen, if we thought he'd be one of the main guys to be gone, and I don't think he's going anywhere. So that's a massive plus for us if he can get fit and stay in there. I think that could really benefit us. So yeah, touch wood, yeah.
Yeah,
But I'll give him 6.5. Yeah.
it does look, in terms of any of the centre backs going to go, obviously Makoso's been the most spoken about and things like that. So it's probably going to be him too. Matt Bloomfield as well, by the looks of it. So that'll be interesting. Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough, Phil. I mean, I can't blame you. I can't blame you, to be honest. 6.5 for Mengi. Mengi 7. Good to see you in here, David, mate. Hope you're well. Mengi 6.5. Yeah, fair enough. Again, similar ratings, isn't it, really? Moving on to Johnson. Again, I thought he was all right. I do feel a bit sorry for him because, I've been a bit like worried about him defensively, like I've said. But the last couple of games, he's actually been really good there. And again, I didn't think he was bad defensively, but he's been let down. And it's a shame, but I'll definitely still keep him in. I feel he definitely still deserves to play in that position right now. So I'll give him a 7 as well.
Yeah, I'll give him a 7. Looking more composed than other players. You know what I mean, for his young age, and looking to go forward. I'm glad he's fit again because obviously, like I said before, we wanted him in the start, and I think he's going to hold that position down for the rest of the season. So yeah, 7.
Yep. Yeah, no, I absolutely agree with that. JJ 7. Good to see you in here, Kieran, mate. Hope you're well. 6.5. Moving on to Walsh. Now, see, the thing is, right, I do feel when we play him deeper at home, it works because we tend to, have more of the ball. We're going to be on the attack more, being at home, he's going to be able to get the ball, pick out the passes, etc. But the away games, like I've said, I mean, Exeter away, I don't feel he's great, especially in that second half, got to be honest. In this game, I mean, again, similar to Longwick, I don't want to be critical of them necessarily because they shouldn't really be playing there. But this is where for me, especially going this formation, like you said, going into it, Dad, you need like Saville in this game. He obviously come out and said it was obviously a selection choice, which we all know Saville's not going to go. Yeah, but the last time we played this formation away, we won. We won 3-0. If Saville's there to mop up and do what he actually should be doing, not attacking, and you could have had Walsh higher in this game. Maybe with Clark, that could have been more beneficial. Or even bring him on. So yeah, that was a bit annoying. But again, I'm not going to be critical of Walsh himself, so I'll probably just give him a 6.
Yeah, I agree.
So yeah, Walsh 6. Yeah. I see that. Yeah, we'll obviously talk on that. Walsh 7. 6.5. Yeah, I'll definitely say he has at the home games. I'd say the away games does need to improve a little bit. But again, the away games, like in this type of game, he's got to have someone next to him. he's got to have someone next to it, even if it's Palmer. Like I don't care really who it is. It's just that type of game. It just no, not for me. But yeah, Richards. I mean, Richards done really well at the start, didn't he? Obviously, he took on them players on that right hand side quite early on. But again, I think because he's trying to get up to speed, you can sort of see the game caught up with him a little bit. So I'll give him a 6.5.
I should give him a 6. He's obviously got talent, and that was good. But he took it. He was going nowhere. A lot of players wouldn't have done nothing with that. So that was good to see. But yeah, he's just getting up to speed. I expect him to. He probably shouldn't have started. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, 6. I'll give him.
Yeah, I think the only reason he maybe did start is because obviously he done well against Huddersfield last time. And that's also why I'd have put Lamine in for this game, like I said, going into it. Wilshere has said he's had good conversations with him. He obviously likes him. He got the first goal for him in terms of his win, obviously away at Northampton. So, yeah, I mean, Lamine should be in the squad a bit more. Like we said, obviously it's a bit difficult in terms of what are we actually trying to do with him. Sometimes he's higher, sometimes he's deeper, but yeah, I felt he could have been all right in this game, to be honest. But is what it is in terms of not starting. Richard 6, Richard 6.5. Yeah, he faded quite quickly. Yeah, like we say. And then moving on to Clark. I mean, if you are to give a best player, I'd probably say it was him. You could argue it's him or Palmer. Obviously he had our first shot on target in the 70th minute. And if anything was going to happen, it was because of him. Obviously, when we see the lineup initially, we're thinking Kadoa's up front, which obviously is his main position. He obviously proven to be really good out wide, especially on the right. But yeah, I mean, Clark was sort of that false 9, which again I didn't really like. But Clark put in the shift and does what he does, and obviously he was very gutted after the game. So yeah, I mean Clark, I'll give him a 7. One of our better players.
Yeah, same. So, it's a shame he didn't score. Really, he had our closest opportunities and stuff. But yeah, he's always trying. So tomorrow, probably another banging performance from him, to be honest. So yeah, I'll give him a 6.5.
Well, hopefully he can have a performance like he did when we beat Blackpool 3-0 at their place. I was at that game. He scored in that game. It's a really good goal, actually. And like I
7,
remember,
sorry, I said 6.5, didn't I? No, 7. Sorry.
yeah, that was the type of game I looked at, right? And like obviously I was thinking, like I say this every time with it, especially nowadays, but like that was the first proper game where I looked at him and I was like, wow, like to think we got this guy for free, and he was doing some of the stuff he was doing, linking up really well with the wide players as well. And yeah, hopefully it's another one of them because our players have good records against certain teams. Hopefully it's another one of them for him. Clark 7. Yep, fair enough. Did well in a crazy new position. Yeah, exactly. And yeah, I know Wilshere has said like he's happy to play there and that, but I think Clark just he's just got that mentality sort of thing. He's happy to go anywhere. I mean, me personally, I wouldn't like to see that again. I feel like I've said, even when he mentioned about Clark playing as a 6. For me personally, I only really think he's an attacking midfielder. Yes, he can do a job there against lower opposition, but again, similar to Walsh, in my opinion, you do that against the better sides. I think ultimately it's just not going to work, to be honest. And that's why when we have seen Palmer deeper next to Walsh, like for example in the first game against Plymouth, I didn't mind that because I know I'd say Palmer's slightly better at that sort of more defensive role. 6.5. Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. And you got to feel sorry for him because at the end of the day, he obviously witnessed the 2 relegations. If anyone should have that losing sort of mentality, it should be him, really. It doesn't. He's like, yeah. I mean, like I've said, he's a player, right? Yeah, you just got to give him what he wants in terms of contract. He should be our highest paid player, any day of the week for me. Like, he deserves it. Simple as that. But yeah, moving on to Palmer. Again, I thought Palmer was all right. I'd maybe say he was slightly better in the Plymouth game, but I still felt he was good in this game. He was trying to make things happen. Obviously, got there. Well, not directly got their players sent off, but obviously that was a part of it, pulling his hair and that. So I guess it could be a benefit in that aspect with that hair. But yeah, I mean, in terms of the performance, slightly better. But yeah, I mean, I'll just give him a 6.5. But I'd still probably maybe start him tomorrow.
I'll give him a 7. I thought he looked lively. He's good at looking for the forward pass. We haven't had that. Obviously Clark has that, on Warshads, but I don't know. It's just he's quick with his feet. He's scanning options a lot quicker, and he make that decision. And a lot of his passes, and then people pass it back to him. Um,
He was getting a lot of the
his
ball in this
technique,
game.
yeah, he's got a really good technique, and he's quite physical as well. And he's coming straight and done that business. So yeah, I'll give him a 7.
Yeah. Yeah, he's looked all right for me. He has, especially the Plymouth game. Like our first player to have the shot on target and the break he done to make the run and do that. I just hope he scores. And a few of us did say that at the time of the watch along. Palmer 7, 7 again. Palmer looked okay. It's classic. 6.5. Yeah, no, fair enough, mate. And then moving on to, we'll go over to Bramall. Good to see that he started. Obviously, we both said we'd start him in this game, definitely. And I felt he was all right. He was trying to put some decent crosses into the box. You could maybe argue he should have got the ball a bit more. There was times, especially in the second half, when we did have our bit of pressure, but we just couldn't put the ball in the back of the net. There was positions where you was thinking, oh, just give the ball to him. Give the ball to him, let him try and take on the man and get in the cross in the box. I felt a bit sorry for him because I felt he should have got more of the ball. To be honest, I'm gonna be honest. I felt he should have got more of the ball. Like I say, especially in that second half. So, yeah. As for Bramall's rating, I will give him a 6.5. So that's my rating. Your rating for Bramall, Dad?
Listen, like I say, I feel sorry for him. He should be starting. He's got good ability, especially at this level. You can clearly see it. 99% of the time, he's making that run, getting past the player, etc. So he just needs to start. But also, we weren't really playing it out to the wing that much. We weren't really looking for him. Whereas, if we know he's doing well, we look at what's that game? We was constantly passing it to him.
There's been 2 home games, like predominantly Bolton.
Yeah.
Bolton was one, and then the one we was at was Port Vale. He was our best player.
He just needs to start, but I'll just give him a 6.5.
Yeah, everyone else gone with the same except Zero Nightlight's gone slightly lower, 6, not his best. Yeah, like I say, I think, like you said that, I literally just said it myself. There were so many times in our second half, we just wouldn't give him the ball. We should have. So yeah, that's what I will say. Then moving on to obviously Kadoa up front. I mean, a bit difficult really to rate him. I mean, when you look at that lineup, I was quite happy because I know that is his main position, and I was thinking, yes, we've dropped Wells, no Yates in the squad. He's gonna sort of stake his claim. I still probably expected us to get a striker like we're set to do, but like he could stake his claim in terms of being up there. He's not quite been effective the recent games, we've got to be honest. So, but again, he was obviously told to not be up front, which it looked like, which was a shame. So yeah, I mean, difficult really to rate him really. I'd probably just give him a 6.
Yeah, same. And he got a couple of kicks and knocks and
at the start, yeah.
So I think that affected his game as well. But we need to put him back on the right where he started for us. Where Wilshire's talking about the wingers coming in on the far post to score at the end of a transactional movement or whatever, and that's what he's good at. So put him back out on the right. But yeah, I'll just give him a 6.
Yeah. I mean, it'll be interesting again. Obviously, he done very well, didn't he, against Blackpool last time out? So it'll be interesting to see, and that was coming on. So it'll be interesting to see what we do with him tomorrow. But yeah, ideally, probably start him on that right again. Yeah, to be honest, it makes sense really. So yeah, Kadoa 6.5. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, no, I agree with that, mate. I can understand what you're saying. Shaden Morris, I thought he was very good when he come on. Played some good crosses into the box. I was calling for him to come on because he just makes an impact every time, or at least tries to. And yeah, I mean, he played some good crosses into the box. No one's really in there except Clark. So hopefully, now we'll start to have that with the new striker coming in. But yeah, I mean, yeah, for this game, I felt sorry for Morris, to be honest. There is a few people saying based on his impacts that they would start him, which fair enough. I mean, he obviously showed more than quite a lot of the other players. Me personally, I'll still keep him as that player to come on and actually have Kadoa on the right, and then you can, like for like change him. But yeah, I mean, his rating, you know what? I actually give him a 6.5. I was going to go slightly higher, but I'll go 6.5.
I'll give him a 7. I thought he was excellent when he come on, and obviously that's the thing, isn't it? He's been asked to come on and do that role, whereas that's what Kadoa should have been doing in the first place. Do you know what I mean? So it's worked well with him. So if you're not going to put Kadoa on the right, put him on the right. Start Kadoa in the middle or on the left or whatever you're going to do. But yeah, I'll give him a 7. I thought he was good when he came on.
Yeah, that he definitely was. Definitely was probably our best sub. In fact, yeah, he was. Morris 7. Morris 7 as well. Moving on to Wells. I mean, yeah, I didn't really do too much for me, so I'll probably just give him a 6.
Yeah.
El Hamadi, good to see him back, by the way. But yeah, again, I'm just going to go over. I think all of them are going to go over 6.
Yeah.
Lawrence and Lamine as well.
Yeah, he'll be on the bench again probably tomorrow. He tried to con a penalty late on, you know what I mean. But I want to, when he's up to scratch and that, he's got a lot of pace and his movement's good. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. But yeah, just 6 for everyone else.
Yeah, he is a super sub Morris. Exactly. Like I've had Aberdeen fans. I just went live on TikTok the other day, and they were saying like, "How's he doing?" And I said, literally, like they were saying about his impacts, like coming on. Obviously, he didn't start much, and literally, if you've got a track record of that, I think that is like predominantly that's what you got to be doing in the league. For me, just having him as that. Obviously, some games, yeah, start, but predominantly, I think that's just he just got a record of doing that. And I mean, every game he's come on, for me, obviously there's been a few he's not been as good, but he's always tried to like get a corner, get a cross into the box. He hasn't really like I've seen him a few times go forward and then cut back, but very rare. In comparison to the other players, Bramall, Ali when he played there, Darwin sometimes now. Do you know what I mean? Like it's one of them where you've just got to keep him as that for me. Uh, Wells 5.5, yeah, fair enough. Obviously, no man of the matches for us. So yeah, overall disappointing game. Like I said, going into it, it is a season definer that one of the teams will look back on at the end of the season and go, "That was massive." We just got to hope some teams drastically fall off that are in there. But if I'm going to be honest, I can't see it, unfortunately. And yeah, obviously, Wilshire's had his press conference today, which was a very long one, by the way, 43 minutes. And yeah, I mean, he did say Jones is my right back, right? His own words. And my thoughts on this, obviously, yes, he said, Jones has said he likes playing there, but ultimately, I just don't rate him there. I've got to be honest. I mean, yes, he played there when we beat Stockport 3-0, but let's not forget, like, he did, yeah, he scored a goal, but he did give away a penalty. Whether it's 50-50 or not, if that was us, I'm sure we'd have wanted it for us. There were so many times, even as a wingback last season under Bloomfield, he'd sort of be a bit clumsy at times. He'd get silly yellow cards and that. Like, I think, like, he's a winger. If you go onto his, you go onto the transfer market, it says main position, right winger, other position, left winger, right midfield. I just think ultimately that's just not, for me, it's not really what I want to hear, if I'm going to be totally honest. And I know, obviously, you've seen players right back and, it's not their natural position. They've done well there, but that's for like the elite teams. That's not us. So me personally, I didn't really like to hear that, if I'm going to be totally honest. I know you've got slightly different thoughts, Dad, on that.
Yeah, what I'm saying is it's the Premier League way with Wilshere, isn't it? That's basically all he knows, let's be honest. And in that terms, yeah, right back, you know what I mean? It's just when he's saying he's the best at one-on-ones and that, which is fine, even if he is, like, but you'd expect someone else to be. Do you know what I mean? Like Walters, maybe, or
Yeah, exactly.
Or someone who that is their natural position. So yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. And he also said that we don't need a right back. We've got Nige yeah, he's not a right back, but he can play there.
He said we got 4 players that could play there.
We got Hakeem there, we got Walters there, and we got Jones there. But sometimes you want an out and out right back, like a Johnson on the other side. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, in terms of them 4, like I've got faith in Longwick when we play the lower sides. You know, I do rate Hakeem there from what I have seen. I mean, his debut when he come on against Northampton, that clearance off the line was really good. Obviously, Rotherham fans did tell us he could play as a CDM, centre back, and right back, and it's shown that he can play in right back definitely. Obviously, we haven't seen him in CDM yet. I think we've seen him in centre back maybe once or twice. I mean, Walters, I think he's good going forward. I do think defensively he needs to work on his game a little bit, to be honest, and that's probably why he's not getting in, especially in the last 2 games we've had, away games. It'd be interesting to see if he's even in the squad at least tomorrow. I mean, if he's not, then I mean, no disrespect, but that says a lot. That says a lot. If I start in right back, I only right back, natural one, can't get in the squad, that is a bit of a concern. And yeah, Jones, like I said, I just think he's much better higher up. I really, really do. So, yeah, I mean, Phil says I don't think he has much of a choice. I mean, I hear it in terms of the amount of players that he says can play in that position, but ultimately, it's like you just want, like you said, that a bit of an out and out one that's just natural there, sort of thing. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Obviously, there's a lot of that. Obviously we've sort of put ourselves in that situation, and to be honest, the strikers we were linked with, obviously, it looks like we're getting Cole now. Obviously, he's set to have a medical. I don't mind it. I mean, I know people saying Port Vale and that, but again, it goes back to what I said. We put ourselves in this position. We can't attract players that we could, well, I'd say even last year, to be honest, in January. And he's got 6 goals in a team that are, gonna go down. Yeah, exactly.
He scored against us as well.
Yeah, scored against us. And don't get me wrong, we analysed it, Dad, in terms of our defensive. But yeah, I think it'll be better than what we've got. I mean, me personally, when obviously we had the links with Beasley as well, obviously we're not going to get him now. Wilshere shut that down. But I'd rather him. There might be a large part of that because I've actually seen him play. But, you look at games like the Huddersfield game, Shaden Morris is trying to cross the ball in. No one's there. Beasley is that type of guy who's just been there. Now, I haven't seen ultimately if Coles does that enough. But I did also see his thing, and I mentioned it in the video when I spoke on the links with him the other day. He basically come out. There was a stage where Port Vale were playing one up front, and he basically said, I'm not having this. He didn't like it. So on that basis, I'm thinking, especially if El Hamadi coming back, I'm not saying he'll come in and start El Hamadi, but what I'm saying is obviously he's an option on the bench now. Surely, if there's a time to go 2 up front, it's tomorrow. Because you've got Wells.
I mean, he said something earlier because he was talking about the way Blackpool play and Huddersfield,
He mentioned 2 up front, didn't he?
2 up front. He said something, and I kind of took a little bit from because I was thinking, especially if we have signed him, he can't be all right. He's coming in just to play up front on his own. Yes, we've got to look after Wells. Yates has gone, so that kind of tells you that might be the case. But if he doesn't, I think he's a better as a 2. He's probably practiced all his life as a 2. His dad was a part of a very successful number 2, him and Dwight York. So, do you know what I mean? And Wilshire's like, well, yeah, well, I want to play like this. It's interesting if it is him. But everyone seems to be pointing towards that is the fact. He's got a lot of experience. I think he's better if he's at a team that he really gels with and stuff, like he was at Barnsley. So, for this league to the end of the season, why not? I mean, is it a permanent signing? I guess it must be, but I don't know, man.
Yeah, I mean, I think if we play it right, we have 2 up front, and we, have him in the box, doing what we've been missing, really. And then I would have definitely, I think it'll be all right. Because I do think he's all right. Like I say, 6 goals in the team. I know we drew to him, but like I'm not saying we're amazing. Do you know what I mean? But like the league don't lie. You know, we're better than them. You know, I think he can be all right. We've just got to use him right for me. So yeah, we'll go through some comments. At least he is 6'1". Need someone next to him though. Yeah, exactly, mate. I totally agree, and that's what we're saying. Harry says, in terms of January window, Cole isn't too bad, although he's a player that has never lived up to full potential. Defo spot on when saying Beasley would be a better option. Yeah, exactly. I mean, Highland Hatter says it here as well. Yeah, no, no worries, mate. No worries. But yeah, do smash a like on the stream if you haven't already. But yeah, obviously the rumours come out. A lot of rumours come out yesterday. We're only going to talk on a few that are more so legit. And that is Jerry Yates. Obviously, officially come out today about midday, and it's gone out on loan to Sheffield Wednesday. Another player of ours has went to a higher league, but let's be honest, Sheffield Wednesday are going to go down anyway. And it's interesting because there was also rumours of another player that they're trying to get, which we'll get into as well. But yeah, I mean, this one, it was for me. It was I had a feeling something was going to happen in terms of a loan move when he wasn't in the squad the other day against Huddersfield. And yeah, I mean, we got to be happy with this that he's off the books because well, not off the books fully, but in terms of for the rest of the season because he's been very disappointing. I mean, obviously, I had the unveiling of signing him, and I was happy at the time, and I always go back to the season he had at Blackpool. 14 goals in a team that finished 23rd in the league higher. I think last time we played in this league, he got like 20 goals. I thought he'd be the guy, but ultimately he hasn't. And even when he has scored, I mean, I'm not saying they have to be the most amazing goals, but you think of the last goal he scored, just about scraped it, penalty. Even the goal against Huddersfield, Lamine gets all the credit for that for me. So just ultimately just not really good enough, to be honest. So yeah, I mean, what did you make of this, Dad, when it officially come out? Similar
Listen,
thoughts?
you got to feel sorry for him a bit because he's coming to a club where he's been same as Wells, but Wells has got that more experience. Playing as up front on his own, that's not what he does. Some of the passes and some of the stuff he's done, I've liked. Um, when he was part of a two in the Virtue Trophy with Nordas, scored, you know, set up. That's the way it works. And Wilshere said, it doesn't really fit into the way I want to play. He was signed by a different manager. These are his words. So he's from that area. I think he'll do well there. I think because he'll probably be played in a two, and I think he'll do well there. So good luck to him. I mean, Jack said he's still our player. He's back in the summer. Let's see if we get a different Jerry Yates, but he might want to stay with Sheffield Wednesday. And at the end of the day, depending on what happens, I think if we get promoted, maybe he'll come back to us. But I think if we don't, which is looking likely, you'll stay with Sheffield Wednesday because I think it's a big rebuild for them. They've got a decent stadium, and if they get they've got like new owners and stuff like that now. Bannon's gone. It'd be a bit difficult for him, but I think ultimately they'll be similar to how Bradford are this season. So I think he'll end up staying there. Good luck to him. Do you know what I mean? Hasn't worked out. Obviously, critical social media stuff and that, which was talked about. It's the personal shit, isn't it? Which can affect some people. Obviously, the football side, you got to expect that in this day and age. But yeah, no, I think he'll do pretty well there. It's quite interesting because they're looking at Nakamba as well, is it?
Yeah, that's what I was going to get into. But what I will say quickly on that, Dad, before you carry on that, so there was rumours. Obviously, they were looking at him, right? And then obviously there's been rumours last night. I'm not sure if you see it yourself, Dad, or anyone in the chat. But apparently, there's talks about getting rid of the contract permanently, and then so obviously he'll be a free agent, so they'll just grab him on Monday. Because what I think's happened is they've obviously tried to get a deal agreed, but obviously because he's on higher wages and they're in the situation they're in, they can't do it.
Yeah.
So I reckon we're gonna wait for him to go on a free, sort this contract situation out. Bang, it'll be gone. I reckon. So yeah.
And also, I think we were linked to one of their strike Cadamartri or something.
Yeah, 20-year-old. Yeah.
that could be part of the deal.
Possibly, yeah, possibly. I mean, how many more players do you think we'll get realistically?
Two,
Obviously, we're set to get Cole. He's having a medical, so let's say
two,
he's already in.
two.
Two. Okay. Fair enough. Yeah, let us know in the chat. I think, yeah, I think two. I mean, some people have said three, but I don't know. I don't know what positions they would be. I mean, obviously a striker, so Cole's basically in, right? Let's say that. Uh, obviously, we're not going to get a right back now. I mean,
I wouldn't be
maybe another
surprised if we did.
midfielder, like more of defensive one. If Saville's not really in the favour, even though he should be for me.
Mm.
That's the only thing I could maybe see. So, yeah. But yeah, so it looks like that could be happening. So that's what I think will happen there. I mean, yeah, like you say about Yates. I mean, in terms of the one up front, it hasn't worked. But like I've said, the biggest disappointment for me with him is when he gets them chances, he's not scoring them, and that is the problem. So yeah, that's where my issue is. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he actually does all right there. To be honest, no more than two more. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I agree. Two. I think we get two more. Cole's one of them. Whoever the other one is the other one. Um. So yeah, yeah. I've seen that about Nakamba, mate. Needs to be done. Needs to be. Yeah, exactly. I've said this for ages. Um. Oh dear. But yeah, that is the main sort of transfer news, really. Obviously, we are expecting the Cole announcements, well, either today or tomorrow, like morning, I'd expect. To be honest, obviously, when Wilshere was talking about it, he did mention, about a player. Well, it's obviously Cole now, we know, but he did mention about, like, obviously, hopefully he's sorting himself out now in terms of like signing and all that, doing a few last little bits. So yeah, hopefully that comes in soon. And hopefully he can just come straight into the squad, to be honest, because if he doesn't, we've got Wells, El Hamadi, and obviously, well, it's probably mainly them really in terms of that. Obviously, Elijah's still going to be a bit of a way away by the sounds of it. So I'm hoping he does come in tomorrow, to be honest. And yeah, obviously we get into our lineups, but yeah, I mean, it's not like he's a player that's hasn't been playing football. He's been playing football recently, so just put him straight in. That's personally what I'd be doing. Do let me know if you do agree. Um, Harry says he reckons two or three signings. Yeah, I think two, mate. See, if they didn't basically shut down the right back rumours, then I'd maybe say three. But yeah, I just think we'll get two. Um, oh my days. Anyway, what we'll do now is talk on obviously the Blackpool game, which I will be at, guys. I managed to sort the ticket situation out, thankfully. Obviously I was a bit, thinking I wasn't going to be able to sort that out. I did sort it out, so I will be going to that. So there will be a match reaction, there will be fan cams, and I'll release the vlog on Sunday. So yeah, but yeah, in terms of this game, I mean, I guess you could say it's a must-win game in terms of like we need to sort of continue this home form and that. But like I've said yesterday, I think even if we win, I just don't think it means much unless a team drastically fall off that are in the playoffs. I mean, Bradford, they're not on the best of form right now, but they've got a home game against Doncaster, which I'll be honest, I would favour them in. I know Doncaster won 3-0 the other day, but that's at home. So I don't really know, mate. I mean, obviously Stevenage won the other day, which was annoying. But we are playing the Blackpool side who are really poor away. 21st on away form. And, obviously Leon yesterday on the channel, make sure you do check that out if you haven't already after this. He was saying they've got a hefty amount of injuries, and it's quite similar to us in terms of away, but they're worse. We wouldn't think it could be worse, given how ours has been recently, but theirs is like really, really bad. So I mean, realistically, it is a game we should be winning. We do very well at their place in recent times, bar this season. But when they come to us, I mean, yeah, we beat them 3-0 in the year we went up. 3-1 in the year we went up. Pelly Ruddock scored a great goal that game. But I always think of that game, the 1-1 draw. And we had a controversial moment where I think they said Elijah fouled their player and he didn't. And the goal should have stood. But I don't know, man. I mean, just with the situation and how big we knew Tuesday's game was, and we couldn't get anything, let alone 3 points. I don't know, man. We have to start this game well, but I'm not sure we will. I mean, the fans, if we go 1-0 down, I mean, it's gonna be quite toxic in there for me, to be quite honest with you. So, yeah, and I will be in the newsstand, which is actually quite close to them, and usually a few people around me that get a bit vexed. So, let's hope we start well, because I'll tell you what, if we don't, especially with like their injuries, their away form, we've got to start this game well. We have to start. We cannot do what we did in a reverse fixture. I mean, look at that, for example. I think we said we were going to win that game, and we, just about scraped a draw in the end. So we have to start well, man. We have to start well. But how are you feeling, Dad, about this game?
I'm feeling pretty confident, to be honest. I think the movement in the building will settle people down a bit. They haven't beat us for 10 years. I think the last time they beat us was in the playoffs, which was horrible. League Two.
Yeah, that was
Um,
the last time. Yeah,
if they've got all these injuries as well, um, yeah, I'm pretty confident. I think we can get 3 points.
yeah. I mean, in terms of lineup, obviously I'll get into mine first. In terms of this game, I think it's one of them where we got to change it for me. We've got to change it, and I know obviously this formation has been working at home, obviously in the recent games, but with Cole most likely coming in, and like I say, I think I would start him tomorrow. I would put him straight in. Like I say, he hasn't had a lack of game time. He's obviously been playing for Port Vale. I'll put him straight in. We're crying out for a striker, someone to get in the box, and I think he'll do that better than our current players. So based on the lineup for this game, as you can see there, Keeley in goal. I don't really put him at fault, like I say, for the game the other day. Johnson, as the left back, again, he deserves to continue to play there. Mengi and Naismith, like I've said, I would take Anderson out for this game. I just think the last two games he hasn't been great, especially the last game. Probably not going to happen, but I have put Walters, as you can see, and the reason I've done that is because we're at home. I expect us to be more on the front foot. It probably will be long week, but that's why I say that. And to be fair, the last couple of games he played, he weren't actually that bad, to be honest. So I'm playing there. Kadoa has to play on the right. Obviously, I've gone with a 4-4-2 formation. Um, Walsh and Clark in the more, sort of central roles of that. Could even swap Walsh and Clark around, but doesn't really matter, to be honest, for me. Keep Bramall in for this game. Hopefully, he gets the ball more. Hopefully, last time I watched him live, he had a very good game against Port Vale, so hopefully he can have another one of them. And if we have a free kick in a good position, in a similar position, then you got to put him on it. And then, like I say, I would go Cole and Wells. I do think Cole will be available. Like I say, I think we're either going to announce it today, like late evening, or we're going to do it in the morning when we did it for Keeley in the pre-season. So yeah, that's what I do. So Cole and Wells. I mean, the only reason I haven't got an El Hamidi is because he's obviously just coming back into the swing of things. And to be honest, Wells, in terms of his link-up play, has been better in the weeks, especially the home games anyway. And you never know; he could work well with someone up front. I mean, let's see. I mean, Yates overall wasn't obviously great at us this season, but like you said, Dad, the time he did play two up front, him and Nordos worked pretty well. So who's to say Wells can't do that, with Cole? So that is my lineup for this game. The only one that I say is more likely of not happening is obviously Walters in. But other than that, I think there's a high chance of that happening. Maybe not that formation, but I think we have to go two up front. And I think that's the best way to go with the players we got available and the players that are playing better, really, to be honest. So that would be my lineup for this game. Do let me know in the chat what you do think of that. As for your lineup, Dad, I'll get it up in a second. But yeah, what do you think of that lineup, Dad?
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. I doubt would go with a 4-4-2. Um, Walters, like you say, long way probably start. Cole, do you think we've signed him in time to play for tomorrow? I'm not sure personally. But yeah, you know, Kadua, Bramall, Clark, Walsh, decent.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I hope we have. We're all going on about the striker situation. I just hope we have. To be honest, because also we're leaving ourselves before obviously speak on the lineup, leaving ourselves with less options really. You loan Yates out, so you're thinking, bang, we'll get someone straight in, and he should be the one. Like I say, it's not like he's played a lack of foot. It's not like he's Elijah, for example, where he hasn't played for ages. You got to be putting him in for me. So, yeah. But yeah, go on, Dad. Your lineup.
Yeah, so I've gone with a 4-2-3-1, which I think we'll probably will play. Um, Keeley, along with Anderson. I think Anderson will still remain, especially at home. Johnson, don't think you can really. Well, obviously, I don't think you can't drop him. And Mengi, I think, like, as you say, coming back. Naismith on the bench again. I'd have Walsh and Palmer as the CDMs, or looking to spring them, get forward when they can. Obviously, Clark in front of them, doing his natural position. Bramall back into the team in the position that's been working really well for him, and Wells up front. Like I say, if we sign Cole, but even then, even if we do, I think Wells will still start ahead, and then maybe come off later. So yeah, that's what I'm going to go with.
Yeah, I think in terms of the one, if we are to stick with that, I think yeah, there's more chance, like you say, Wells being that one because he's been in the team longer and things like that. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I just think the way we're trying to play isn't really beneficial for Anderson at the moment.
And also,
But yeah, yeah,
yeah,
go on.
I don't think we need to change much at home. This is how we have been
Mm,
successful. Do you know what I mean?
mm.
Um, so Palmer,
I mean,
he ain't
yeah,
played.
it's his
It's his
first home
debut at
game.
home.
Yeah,
It's his home debut, isn't it?
yeah, it will be. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Trust me, I can see something special coming from him. But yeah, it won't likely be that because that's what we've been doing and that's what's worked. And if then players are used to playing together. Mengi's obviously just come back. Palmer's obviously new, but you can see he's gelling. Um, yeah, for me that would be especially if they've got players out. For me, not Lawrence. Don't be starting Lawrence. Um, yeah, bar that, like you say, if Devante Cole is at the club, then possibly he does start, but we'll see.
mm. Yeah. And another reason I have, but well, I believe he will be in the squad is because Wilshere was so adamant earlier in his press, like it was like, oh, hopefully he's getting everything sorted now. Like, do you know what I mean? It sort of sounded like he wanted to just have it over the line, and you never know with us. I mean, we haven't. When's the last time we done a late announcement? Probably in the it'd have been in the summer, no? Probably for someone El Hamadi, I think. Actually, he was quite a late one if I remember rightly. I think we'll do the same. Or if not, we'll just announce it tomorrow, like we did with Keeley tomorrow morning in pre-season. I know Keeley didn't come straight back in, but a large part of that was because it was pre-season. Do you know what I mean? We were in the business end of the season. So, yeah, I think he will be in, like, in terms of the squad. He might not start, like I say. If we go one up front, I'll definitely expect him to not start. But, yeah, I mean, let's see. We might even do a thing in the game if he is in the squad where, we might go two, like, during the game, like we did the other day, even though it didn't really work. But, so, yeah, it's one of them. Let's see. Um, so, yeah, yeah, I mean Harry agrees with you. You don't think he'll be tonight in terms of like being in the squad either. Yeah, like I say, I think because we've been right on it. I think we will. Even the medical like today, do you know what I mean? Like and everything like that. I just think we will. But we'll see. We'll see what happens with that. But yeah, like you say, Dad, you feeling confident for this game? How are you feeling in terms of a score then?
I think we'll start off, the crowd behind us and that. There'll be a little bit of thingy, but I think we'll just start off well. We are the better team. Come on. And like I say, with their injuries, we should pass it around, chill out, and then just be confident with the ball. And I think comfortable win. I think it might even be one of them games where it should have been more than what it is. So I'm going to go 2-0 win.
Okay,
Okay.
fair enough.
Palmer and Clark to score.
Okay, interesting. Well, as for me, this might shock a few people, right? but I'm not actually going to go with us to win. I'm not going to go with us to lose because they are dreadful away and they've got these injuries. But I just think it could be one of them games where we're like in a very good position. So, like, say for example, we're 2-1 up, right, and then they get a late on goal at the end, and it's like, oh my god, it's really bad. And the last game I went to was a 2-2, and that was against obviously Port Vale were lower in the table. And Port Vale, to be fair, when they played him, they did beat Blackpool. And also another reason that's just made me think why I think he could play as well is they beat Blackpool 5-1, and he scored in that game. So hopefully he'll know stuff. And that went that long ago. That was not that long ago. So who knows, man? Who knows? I've just seen something. I don't know how true it is. Apparently, he's demanded Val to let him go and say, well, if you don't get the move. I mean, there could be maybe truth to that because let's be honest, right? We're in a better position than Port Vale. Obviously, yes, we drew to them, but the league doesn't lie. We're in a better position, so I could understand it. Again, it's another one of them where we can attract players like that. Obviously, we can't attract certain players like we could last year, you could say, but players like that, look at it, go, oh, they were in the Prem 2 years ago, bang. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's a better opportunity. Do you know what I mean? Better players. If he's, and again, it goes to what we've said that if he's got 6 goals in the team that are not great, looking very likely to go down, there's no reason why, he can't do more goals for us, to be honest. So that's how I see it. 3-0 Luton, says Paul. Very emphatic win. We loved that. I was about to say, when was the last 3-0? But it's late in Orient, wasn't it? Which was fairly recent. So, yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be difficult for them, though, mate, in terms of their lineup. They've got so many injuries. I mean, I don't think they'll beat us. But like I say, I think it will be a draw. 2-2, unfortunately. Oh, geez, that would not be good. That would really not be good. That, and I mean, mate, Lee probably wished he went to it if that was the case. But it's quite mad, right? Because every time I've had him on the channel, I've had him on the channel 3 times now. He's never been confident in any of the games, and we haven't lost any of them since I had him on. But then it's probably a jinx now. I've probably jinxed it, but yeah. Oh, mate. It all depends how we start for me. It all depends how we start and how we defend. We can't be like, doing what we did against Port Vale and just not be marking and just, things like that. Yeah, exactly. We got to be how we've been at home. We haven't really done that at home, have we, really? Like, if you look at a Wickham Leighton Orient game, we haven't really done that. We've just been more sort of on it, haven't we? And we've given the fans something to cheer about. So,
well, he did touch on that in his press conference. He said like maybe I've got to mix it up a little bit. He did say something like that. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's true.
yeah.
So, yeah, and we do it at home anyway. That's the whole thing.
I just think because we get on the ball more and we make things happen, it's not as annoying. Do you know what I mean? Like there's something to get behind because we've been better at home as well. You only have to look at the Wickham and Leighton Orient results. And even then, I wouldn't even just say the results. I'd just say the way we played. So much better than we have throughout the whole season. And even games we haven't quite won. I mean, the Lincoln game, yeah, we started poor, but we've done well. We should have won in the end. You look at the Bolton game again. I know we couldn't break 10 men down, but like that going at them, that's what we want to see. That's what we expect to see. And I mean, tomorrow, if there's any game, like I know we say this a lot, we have to start well, but if there's any game, tomorrow is literally that game. Given the injuries they've got, given their away form, I mean, yeah, if you go 1-0 down in this game, it's going to be really bad. That's how I see it. Terry's gone 3-0 to us. Yeah, fair enough, mate. Fair enough. 2-1 Luton win. Yeah, see, that's the thing. If I was going to say us to win, I would say that. But yeah, I just got a feeling it's going to be late annoyance, if you want to call it like that. So yeah, Dad, any final things you want to say before we wrap up?
No, I think it'd be a good game. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, hopefully. What's that? I think every game I've been to, I haven't been to many, but we haven't lost. So hopefully that remains. But yeah, ideally we need the 3 points. I just got to hope someone drastically falls off for me in the playoffs.
What's chat GBT saying?
Actually said, I've done it earlier. I think it was a 1-1 draw, I think it was actually a 1-1 draw. And by the way, Chat GPT actually got it spot on the other day. So, that was that, and that reminds me actually the points. So a lot of people gained the point the other day, but in terms of the standings, it has changed a little bit. Let me just get onto it now. So as for the points, so ChatGPT, like I say, got it spot on, and then myself, Rich, Stephen, Blitz, Jamie, Harry, and Lewis all gained a point. So the points now, I'm on 16. You're on 9, Dad. Jackie's on 18. I know she's not on this today. By the way, Jackie should hopefully be on a fan cam tomorrow, so that'd be good to have Jackie on and have her thoughts. She did message me earlier and say she wants to try and get on before as well on the vlog, so that'll be good. Rich is on 13. Paul's on 16. Stephen's on 15. Phil's on 8. Darth Vader's on 15. Ben's on 13. Terry's on 9. Dave's on 9. Blitz is on 8. Chat GPT is on 12 now. Jamie's on 18, so joint top with Jackie. Harry's on 3, Lewis is on 8, and Ryan is on 3. So they are the points, guys. So another one of them where it's joint top at the moment. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how it comes at the end of the season. I just hope that it's not a joint top, because that will be annoying. So yeah, let's see what happens. But yeah, like I say, I'll be at the game tomorrow. Match reaction from myself. Mike will be on a fan cam. Hopefully David will. He said to me he's going. And Jackie. And if anyone else is there and you want to come on a fan cam, then please do. And then obviously I'll upload the vlog on Sunday. And hopefully it's a positive game really, but can't guarantee it. You never know with us. But yeah, man. Phil, mate, if you want to jump on a fan cam, mate, if you don't have to rush back, then feel free, because I've just seen you said you will be there. When the comment wants to come up, there it is. So yeah, if you want to, mate, then feel free. Just let me know, and yeah, I'll be opposite the club shop anyway. So yeah, that's that. So yeah, big up to everyone that's tuned in. Don't forget to smash a like, subscribe, follow me across all my socials, and yeah, I will see you guys tomorrow in my match reaction. So yeah, big up to yourselves till then. We'll be back again on Monday to obviously talk on this game. And when is our next game? It's Bradford, isn't it? Which is next Saturday, 12:31 kickoff. So we'll be back again with a watch along for that. So yeah, check that out as well. All of that, obviously there'll be content out, last couple of days. I expect it to be a bit hectic, so you might have a video, but I'll do a roundup as well when the window's officially shut, 7 p.m. on the 2nd of February, which is, let me just double check what day that is quickly, because it might actually be on Monday. Oh no, it's not, it's on Tuesday. Yeah, so I'll have a video then as well. So big up to everyone and all of that. Smash a like, subscribe. Big up to everyone that's tuned in. Smash a like on your way out, and yeah, I will see you guys tomorrow. My dad will see you guys on Monday. So until then, take care and peace.